So, ladies and gentlemen, they really rapping out here. I repeat, this is not a drill. They're really rapping out here. So I'm excited. Something that just came out a few hours ago, something that has essentially made my week, is the continuation of this sort of lighthearted back and forth battle between TDE and Pro Era. So Red Bull just released a cipher on their Red Bull 1520 channel. It was a cipher between Big Sean, Ab Soul, and Joey Badass, and it was as dope as you could have hoped it would be. They all brought their A game. Big Sean had a bunch of dope bars, including a dope punchline referencing Joey Badass's debut album Before the Money and the TV show Power, which is a show that he's been starring on for the past like several years or whatever. And then on top of that, he also had a dope punchline reference where he literally said, "Hey, I even made the goat's cheese." And then he's also followed that up by saying, "Imagine what you don't see," which of course is implying that he's ghostwritten for a lot of people, which is something that has been rumored for many, many years. And it's something that I do believe, because there was a point in time during the 2010s when I was a teenager where there was several artists who had a certain style or adopted a certain style briefly that seemed very similar to the style that Big Sean made famous when he was blowing up during the early 2010s. And then of course Ab-Soul came through, he killed it as well. He had that dope bar where he said, even if you were related to Shaba, you still wouldn't rank. Then also it was funny just seeing the three of them all interact with each other. You could tell this was like rehearsed, but in a good way. Like they had good chemistry and it was very lighthearted. And Ab-Soul had a moment where even in his verse he's confronting Joey Badass and talking about how he has to stick by his people, of course, like he has to stick by the syndicate. And you heard, obviously if you're watching this video, you heard it, and it was dope. For the people that for whatever reason might have not been aware of what was happening and just so happened to see the cipher or this video a couple months back, as the Drake and Kendrick beef was dying down, Joey Badass put out The Rulers Back. He kind of took shots at the West Coast. Some people took it and they weren't really fond of it. They felt some type of way, specifically Daylyt and Ray Vaughn, who are guys tied into the TDE camp. They both put out responses, and Joey Badass also put out a response as well. Also, CJ Fly, one of Joey Badass's, one of his people in Pro Era, he put out a response as well. It was very interesting. It was never, one of the things that made it so dope was there was never the feeling that there was ever going to be an actual altercation tied to this. Like it was never going to reach the point of like petty violence where somebody could possibly lose their freedom or their life over, just really just a lighthearted battle where people are just being competitive. And to see this response by Joey in the cipher, I thought was dope. He took a lot of shots, of course, at Daylyt and Ray Vaughn. And he also brought up something that I knew at some point was going to be brought up. I'm surprised he didn't bring it up sooner, or I'm surprised CJ Fly didn't mention it, or maybe he did and I just missed it or forgot. But he referenced Daylyt essentially stripping in a battle. For the people that don't remember, back in the 2010s, Daylyt was making his name as a battle rapper, and he wasn't just any battle rapper. He was a battle rapper that used to like to troll a lot. So he would do very odd things, such as, stripping on stage, taking a dump on stage, whatever, doing interviews with weird makeup on, and just a bunch of crazy stuff, whatever could get him the most attention. So obviously Joey referenced that. That was pretty funny. He also had several clever bars playing on the name Daylyt, of course, saying, I don't have to lose sleep to break Daylyt, of course, also saying, hey, if it's a no-fly zone, then I don't need to take a flight to pack light. Then also he threw some jabs at Ray Vaughn, of course, saying shine a light on him and I'll light Ray. And it was just very exciting to see. I get frustrated at times because it feels like so much of music is really not focused on the music itself. It's always just about senseless drama, who's dating who's beefing with who's gangbanging on who's with this gang or that gang. And it's just to have those brief moments where it's just people just rapping is very exciting. Like, and I know there's obviously battle rap leagues still around. I still watch them from time to time, but What I'm talking about is artists who aren't typically battle rappers getting into a battle situation. That's definitely fun to see because it's always that unexpected element of, hey, will they be able to handle it? Will they be able to transition? They're not training all day every day for the battle context the way battle rappers are. They're training specifically just to make songs. So it's interesting to see the versatility with that these guys have. And as somebody who also is a rapper, who also is a musician, who makes music and is lyrical myself, it's always fun just to see it, to feel motivated. And clearly, by the way this cypher played out, it seems like there's not ever going to be a real issue. It's just always going to remain lighthearted competition, which is great to see. I thought it was very interesting that Joey pointed out that it's kind of ironic that people got in his feelings, people got in their feelings over Joey's verse on The Ruler's Back, but they forgot that Kendrick on Control put out a verse that also got people in their feelings. So, like, I don't think that's the best point, but I understand where he's coming from. And I think that's a reasonable point to make. Either way, they dapped it up in the end, and it was just a great thing to witness. But let me know, what do you think about this battle? Did you like this cypher? I thought it was great. If you liked it, who do you think had the best verse? Because Sean killed it, Absol killed it, Joey killed it, and it was just something that, and then also the beat was dope. Something that I'm probably gonna be playing for like the next couple weeks straight.